Welcome back to the fourth video in our chess story series. Today, I want to go over a game between two Soviet masters by the name of Vitaly Chekhover, playing white, and Iosif Rudakovsky, playing black. Now, you may be wondering why Iosif looks like he has a bag full of sand in his face, and the reason is we don't have any photos of him. He lived too long ago. That being said, he did get blown away in this game, so that's why I thought the image was funny. Now, to be honest, Iosif is a good player. So in this game, it was really unfortunate that his bishop got buried and he never got a chance to take out all his pieces. Vitaly made sure that these guys never really got activity, never got to go to school, go to work, eat our ice cream, attack our king, never. And that's why he won. Let's take a look. We start off with a Queen's Gambit declined, where white says, please give me the center. Black says, no, it's mine. It's under my control. And black says, what about now? What about the knight helping my center? And white says, that's okay. I got my knight too. Plus your bishop can be pinned. Or I should say your knight can be pinned by our bishop. And so if you ever move the poor knight, I'm ready. The bishop has to get in the way to break the pin, but we just continue. All the pieces are coming, and we press on the queen side. Okay, the pawn is pressing d5. If you ever take, I can take back and get the center. But if I ever take, nothing bad happens. It's just I don't want to while your bishop can come out. I'll do it later or push. We'll see. We'll find out. And so he gets the knight out and starts to pressure. Pressure and pressure. Don't release the pressure. Knight d7. He's getting the knight out, helping his buddy, being very flexible on d7, and not getting in the way of the c pawn, because the pawn can go c6 or c5, defend the center or attack the center. A lot of kids put the knight over here, and I say, and it makes me cringe to see the knight in the way of the pawn. Now the pawn is stuck and you're in real trouble. Okay. In the actual game, the knight came out, we got the queen out, they defended, they made sure that the pawn was safe, and we got all of our pieces to work. Unlike that guy who's still stuck. At this point, black decided, fine, I'll give you the center and all those pawns as long as I can trade. My house is smaller, my pawns have less space than you, so I should remove the residence. If there are less people in the house, less people in my camp, then I have less to worry about and more space for the remaining pieces. White says, fine, if I have to, I will, but you're still stuck with that bishop. You didn't remove the bad guy. You lost the good guy. Okay, so after we castle, they start kicking us away, trying to get some space. But hey, isn't that like a backwards pawn? Did that guy get left behind by his friend? And poor Iosif forgets about the pawn and the outpost in front of it. This is a fort for any of white's pieces, and white will use it. After the bishop runs away, black tries to fix his mistakes, tries to fix the pawns, but it's too late because our knight is coming to the party. And now is a good time to sing the funeral song. And we're singing it for this bishop. Sadly for him, he's stuck inside this coffin forever. He's never coming out. I'll make sure of it. I'll have a knight here to block him inside the coffin. And so after the bishop's on b7, we can even trade. We can trade, put some pressure, centralize. If they want to take, hey, I'm happy with the knight here or there. These are monster knights. In the actual game, black didn't want to trade, so we traded instead. Why do we want to trade? Because outpost. We finally get our favorite square. With that square, we bury the bishop forever, get the queen out the way, get the center rolling, and can do whatever we want. Our rooks come in. Of course, we need the rooks on the open lines. Let's get the open highways for the cars. And after, we can get the queen involved too. The queen didn't want to get in the way of the rook. The queen said, maybe I'll checkmate you instead. The queen starts running to the king's side, I should say, looks at the king, and starts to multitask, helping here, helping there, while the rooks are still pressuring here. All of our pieces are awesome, which can't be said for these guys. Just can't. Okay. Queen wants to bother our pawns? That's okay. We'll always defend them. And after we close the queen side, look at this amazing strategy. This is all closed. This is open when we want it to be. The center is open when we push the pawns, not him. And the king side is the same way. We can open it when we want to. We can push the pawns when we feel like it. And we can attack your king when we want to, but you're not attacking anyone. Not without the center, not without your bishop. You're down a piece, I'm up a piece. And that's the difference. Black tries to get rid of the annoying knight. That's okay. We just close the queen side even more. And if you want to trade, you replace one monster with another. Vitaly says, meet my second monster named Rook. The Rook is coming for you. Or you. We'll see. Queen has to run away. We pinch those pawns, pinch those weaknesses, and bully them. Unfortunately, the bishop has to babysit, and that's not where he dreamed of being for the rest of his life. He has no choice. We also make the queen even more sad, because if the queen goes here, she's pinned with the pawn. I can start looking into bishop f3, but if she goes there, what is she doing? Why is she on the other side of the world, says Vitaly, looking over to the king. Since you have no queen helping, maybe I'll just checkmate you instead. The bishop starts bullying the king, and they have to play moves like g6, which is a weakness in itself. The cheese allows us to come in and use those holes. First, the queen comes in and starts dreaming about the nail. With the nail pawn on h6, this king is not long for this world. He'll try to get out, try to scare the queen away. Nah, we're gonna scare your rook away. And now comes the nail pawn. With time, the nail comes here, queen comes there, checkmate. You can say, what if h5? And Iosif was probably thinking, what if I stop you this way? But wait a second, you have a broken roof, no helpers here. The rooks can't really help. The king is all by himself. What about kaboom? What about we blow up your house? And after we blow up the king side, who's gonna help you? Who? I could either do rook g5 with a sacrifice, or I could probably get away with g4 and blow up your house this way. After here, pawn h5, nail pawn, or blow up the roof are both good. Okay. For that reason, black tried to ignore the nail, but it was too scary to ignore, and the pawn is still coming. The pawn came all the way to h6 in the end, and first we take the pawn, and then we get the nail here. You'll see why in a second. We could have played here right away, not a big difference, but it's time to let the bishop out so that the rooks can come in. The rooks come in to finish the job from the side. Okay, now we get the nail here, and now we'll pick up the bishop if you try and defend. After something like this, we would probably take. If you try to take the nail was too good. And instead of the nail, you have to lose your queen. Okay, so for that reason, he didn't take the nail. He tried to run away with the king, tried to run away from the nail, but it was still annoying. And we still get to go for tactics, still get the open file for the rooks. If you decide to take, I don't think Iosif had this endgame in mind. He didn't feel like playing a queen endgame down 2 pawns with a nail pawn in his house. He didn't want to live with it. So instead, he said, wait a second, wait. I can defend. But now I want to give you guys a chance to finish the game. White to play. I'll give you 3 seconds and you can pause the video. Find the winning idea, right? 3, 2. If you played Rxc8, you're totally right. Only after we decoy the queen, we give him a gift. And Vitaly says, come, take my rook. And when you do, Iosif, it's a good thing two pieces are in the same rank, and I'll collect them with a skewer. The king has to run away, and thank you for the queen. Game over. You have no choice because it's either that or I take your queen with mate. Okay, and that's how Vitaly won this game. Throughout the whole game, the bishop was buried. Black had no fun, no activity. And then we were able to go from weakness to weakness, bullying him with the nail pawn and finishing with the c file. The combined attack on all flanks didn't give Black any hope. So I hope you can bury pieces in the same way and win in the same way.